So my name's Nathan Mitchell. I'm a business manager for Mdee, and we're a distributor of BT and EE and IoT.
So thank you, Nathan. Thank you for joining us for today. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
So if I can, I'll start with a nice, easy question. How long have you been at Mdee?
Just about 6.5 years.
Okay, fantastic. And if you don't mind me asking, how long in the industry?
In the industry since 1996, and I think me and Tanny were working out earlier that I think I've worked for her at 6 different companies for over 26 years.
Wow, that's quite a partnership.
Yes, it's been quite a long time. I've had some time out, but yes, it's been good.
So I imagine you've seen quite a few changes within the networks as well as the tech of the industry as well in that time.
Yes, a lot of changes since I started. Snake was still around when I started on Nokia's. So, if there's any old school people listening to this, they'll know what Snake is.
Those Nokias, we used to be able to drive over in a Land Rover and they'd still
work. Yeah, battery life lasted over a week. Great phones.
Yeah,
yeah, 20 years ago now that was. So.
Yeah, indeed. So I'd like to ask, find out a little bit more about the ethos of Mdee, and one thing I've heard with the interviews I've done so far, Nathan, is that there's a real partnership between Mdee and the partners that you work with. So it might sound a really obvious question to start with, but how important are partners to Mdee?
Partners are everything to Mdee. Without partners, we wouldn't have a business. Our whole ethos and everything is partner driven. So yeah, partners are the main point of Mdee.
And how varied would you say those partners are in terms of their makeup, but also their needs as a partner with Mdee?
Very different, I guess. So you've got people who've been in the industry a long time, might be a one-man band with a office in the garden, that manage a decent-sized base of customers and have done that for a long time, right up to huge businesses with over 300 people employed selling IT, communications and mobile telephone systems, all of that, as well as what we do with them.
Yeah, okay.
You've also got lots of partners out there. So you've got IT resellers who perhaps don't know a lot about mobiles currently, but want to add it to their portfolio because their customers would sooner come and deal with them on mobile because they're their trusted advisors for technology. You've got people installing business broadband. We've got a client who installs SIMs into milking machines in cows' farms, in farms for cows.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with a wide variety of partners that you work with as a business, how do you treat them as individuals? That always.
Yeah. Well, so everyone there is quite a different range of how people like to be treated. So we've got very personal relationships with a lot of people because we've been dealing with them for 10 years. But then you obviously have got different relationships with much larger organisations with large teams of salespeople. But I would say we have a personal relationship at a high level in the business, and then we obviously try and have good relationships with the salespeople, and we develop that by helping them win business.
Yeah. Okay. So, and specifically, then, what kind of things do you do for partners within Mdee, but also your role as well that helps them win more business?
So that's a difficult question to answer in some ways. So a lot of our partners, their main network is not EE. Their main network might be a wholesale, or they might want to sell IT or VoIP first. So when the customer asks them for EE, and a lot of customers at the moment will ask for EE because they're the biggest network with the strongest coverage, strongest network. So you get a lot of customers asking partners for it who would prefer maybe to sell another network. So we make it then very easy for them to go and sell EE. They'll just send us the details of their bills or the customer requirements, and we'll put everything together for them so that they can then just go and sell. Because they don't want to spend huge amounts of time training if you're only doing one deal a month. So we've become very good at helping them and filling that niche, if you like. So because customers want EE, partners may not be totally au fait with EE, but when the customer asks them for it, they come to us and we do a lot of the work for them because we're the experts on it.
Fantastic. So you guys play that role of that back office support then. So are we talking like stacking the deals through to discount approvals? What's the range of support that involves?
Well, so that could be from getting on a team call with the customer, finding out what the customer needs and answering any questions they've got, and maybe giving them a bit of confidence that we know what the partner's got proper support on EE. Then stacking the deal, negotiating with EE to get the right money or the right discounts on that deal. And then maybe, we don't do this on every deal. Most of the partners would go and sell it. But then if the customer had questions, we'd get on the phone and answer the questions with the partner as well. But it really depends on how much the partner needs. So an IT reseller might need a lot of that support when they're just learning about mobile and how it all works. Whereas a more established partner would just want us to stack the deal and get the maximum amount of money out of EE for that deal.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So again, it comes back to that difference of need, I guess, with the partners. So yeah. What about when it comes to solving the kind of impossible? As having spent some time in the industry, there's time is of essence in this industry, and everybody wants everything solved right now. But you guys have developed quite a strong reputation in problem solving and actually being that bridge between network and partner.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the advantages we have on that is we're a one network distributor and we're 35% owned by the network. So we've got very close links in with the network to get stuff done. So we also have a lady called Michelle Berry working for us who used to work at Orange for 18 years, so knows a lot of the technical and service people that we deal with, and she can get stuff done really quickly. But yeah, we've got, I would say, very strong links into the network, and our knowledge is really good because we only sell one network.
Yeah, fantastic. So in terms of what do you enjoy the most about your role in particular, Nathan?
That's an interesting question. I like helping people develop their business. So I like meeting new people, bringing on new partners, showing them that EE isn't a difficult network to sell and that we do know what we're doing and we can make it easy for them, and then helping them develop that right the way through. I mean, we also do IoT and bespoke contracts for, right at the large end of things. So, our largest deal we've done in the last year is 2,500 connections on a bespoke contract for a large brand name. I like getting involved with that sort of thing, but I am a salesperson at heart, so I like winning business. So, it's gratifying to help win large deals with my customers, I guess. I like meeting new people. I guess that's one of the reasons I enjoy the job. And making money. I guess I would be a liar if it wasn't about the buzz of making money. That's I think every salesperson has to enjoy that.
Yeah, there's a real love of stacking the deal, right? We all know what that feels like.
Yeah, and win it. When that contract's signed, and hitting your target at the end of the month, that's and seeing our business develop and grow is really good. I think the reason I've stayed in this industry for so long is because it changes so much so quickly. So every year it's changing. It doesn't really seem that long ago that we had 3G and we're already on 5G. Technology's changing. What people use their handsets is changing. We've now got, the 5G revolution coming, where there's going to be apparently a SIM card in every single thing, including your kettle and your Hoover. So I'm interested to see the evolution of the technology.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting times, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think, being a salesperson is quite exciting, but being a salesperson in a fast developing, ever changing industry is really exciting.
Yeah, it's great to hear, talking with your partners as well as you guys internally in Mdee, that it really does cement that family business relationship that you guys have within the organization. It's a real ethos for the way that you approach business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very family run ethos, but with good systems and technology, I think, is how I would describe ourselves. We're not a huge company, but I think we punch well above our weight in terms of numbers.
Yeah, super. I was interested when I was looking at the behaviors and the values of the business. They really inspired me reading through, and there was one of them that jumped out to me that I wanted to ask you a question about, because I always find when we're talking about values and cultures and stuff, they can be up on the wall, but how do they live in the business? So one of the values that jumped out to me was intuitive. So how does that show up in day to day in Mdee for you, your partners, the team?
Well, I think that probably comes from the top. So Tanny's very intuitive. So she's intuitive of different ways of doing things, making sure things are running properly, understanding what your partners need, and sort of, recognizing trends and making sure you're on those. You've got to be a little bit paranoid in our job, because everyone's always trying to pinch our partners. So being intuitive in what's going on out there, what's going to succeed in the next year and what's going to fail, because there's always new things and new stuff being launched. So hopefully that answers that.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about, you talked earlier about the way that you support your customers and you support your partners, which is great. But a cheeky question, Nathan, you've been in the industry long enough and you've been in distribution for a while as well. So what separates Mdee as a distributor to other competitors, do you think?
Well, I really think it's the partnership, which we've talked about a little already. But a lot of our competitors are much bigger than us. So, much more staff, not necessarily more established, but more corporate organisations. We're much more of a smaller family-run business. And, the other partners will do a lot of training, the other distributors, a lot of training, give price books out, kind of leave the businesses to it, maybe pester them for some sales figures every so often. We don't do that, really. We're more about helping partners on an individual deal basis. So it's literally, how can we help you with the deals, but how can we do the marketing with you? For instance, bringing on a new partner who gets their EE authorized stockist codes, we'll help them with the marketing first of all, to let all their current customers know that they're selling EE. And then we'll train them properly. And rather than just going through a price book and spending hours looking at it, we'll have proper conversations, then get hold of their first deal and have a Teams call and go through that deal, try and train a bit as we go along. So we're much more hands-on than the other distributors. There's a team of 4 of us who work together. So there's Kerry, John Paul, Rosie and I, and we have different skills in our team. So Kerry will do a lot of the marketing, I'll do some of the relationships and building the deals. But it all, the partners feel they've got different people to go to for different things.
Yeah, cool. And they've got that direct response and that speed of response as well then.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, everything, because there's 4 of us, and if I'm doing team calls with new partners or training, Kerry and John Paul are manning the inbox and making sure nothing's missed. So we've got it set up really well. Sharing information, using Teams a lot. We have regular Teams calls every day. We're all talking about what's going on. So if somebody calls me that's been talking to Kerry, I usually know what's going on.
Yeah, cool.
So it's partnership.
Fab. So it sounds like your role then is not just varied, but it means that you're getting into your partners from a business relationship conversation as opposed to just telecoms conversation.
Absolutely, yeah. No, so the most important thing really for us is our partners to be successful. Because if they're successful, at some point they will need EE, and what we do will be, as part of their portfolio, will be successful. So it's understanding what they want to do and what their needs are. You don't want to be phoning a partner every week asking for their connections, because you don't know what sort of partner they are, and they haven't got a sales team out there at the moment, or they're all locked down on because we've had COVID. So, you need to be talking to putting a business plan together with the directors of how you want to operate with their business, and everyone's different. So everyone needs a different approach, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Well, listen, Nathan, thank you so much for your time today, and I really appreciate your honesty.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Super.